Hallie Jackson's over at the White House. What have you been hearing from your sources inside the Trump campaign?
Let me jump off of something that Chuck was just talking about as it relates specifically to Georgia, because the characterization from one person that I spoke with tonight is that folks are not feeling panicked yet. They're looking at Georgia. They are perhaps not feeling as good as they had been earlier in the day about it. But at this point, that is when they're watching because of specifically what Chuck was talking about there, the suburbs around Atlanta, the way that the president could perform. They're specifically looking, and you heard Jason Miller talking about, for example, black and Hispanic voters in Georgia. They're specifically looking at the performance that the president will have among black voters there. So that's something that they're keeping an eye on. There is a lot of, again, we have not called Florida yet here at NBC News, but there is some, I would say, preemptive dunking from members of the Trump campaign about that state. There is really a sense that I'm starting to pick up from talking to folks tonight that this is a little bit how it went in the early hours of election night 4 years ago, if you remember, feeling like the polls were wrong, feeling like they were the underdog campaign that was able to come from behind and win 4 years ago. And there are people, listen, the president has surrounded himself this year with the same sort of cast and crew that he did 4 years ago in large part. So there are a lot of people who are holding on to that memory and wondering if tonight is going to end up having the same result for President Trump. When you talk about the mood sort of more broadly, the president is spending election night here at the White House. Listen, any other election night, I would be standing here in front of you from, the election night watch party, if you will. We're not doing that tonight because of, obviously, the pandemic. Things have changed quite dramatically over the last 9 months or so. There are about 250 people, according to one attendee, inside the White House right now, inside the East Room. They're watching one of the cable networks, the president's preferred channel, frankly, at least most of the time, which is Fox News. They're watching that on the big screens, cheering when some of the races get called there, having some snacks. Members of the Trump cabinet are there, members of the Trump family as well. And right now, the sort of energy in the room, we're told, is very positive based on some of the things that we're seeing. Now, might that change as we start to get in more vote from Arizona? That is definitely one that we're drilling down on with sources tonight. That was one of the states that the folks that I've been talking to in the Trump orbit hadn't been feeling very, very confident about. They were feeling what I would say hopeful, optimistic, but not extremely confident. And there now seems to be perhaps some reason for that we're seeing in the numbers that have come in, at least so far tonight.
All right, Hallie, thanks. Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.